Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, March 15th, and this is Draftbit Office Hours. I'm Dave, and with me is Rahul, our lead success engineer. And we're gonna take some questions and talk to you guys and all that good stuff. So see who we got: Julian, Carl, and a new face. We've got Glenn. How's everybody out there? Hello. Hey. All right, well, let's hop in. Glenn's got a question for us. So he says, I'm struggling to get my form input field values posted to a Zano endpoint when they have a starting value, but not edited in the form being presented. It's as if the values are not really there despite being able to see them. Happy to demo it. What do you think, Rahul? You want to bring him up or you have an idea?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure. I think I offered Glenn a solution, but isn't that working for you, Glenn?
He says, yes, it is. Thanks. Okay.
So are you having a problem on another page? Whatever the case may be, you're most welcome to join us.
He says, no,
Um,
it's fine, I think. Okay. Is that question you had still applicable? And
like if you have any other questions, Glenn, or if you want more explanation on that question, you're welcome to join us. And what we can do is we can share your screen and kind of show the process to our other users as well.
all right, well, since we have nothing else going on yet, we'll bring him up and see if we can help him here.
And
One,
to others, sorry, go ahead.
I was just go ahead, Rahul. I was just talking out loud.
So yeah, and to our other users, if you have any questions, please feel free to post in the ask a question section. We would love to answer those as well for you guys.
Yep. Carl's asking if we've implemented pull to refresh before. I haven't actually implemented it. Have you, Rahul?
Not yet, to tell you honestly.
Okay. I could probably find some time to work on that, check it out this week. Or maybe if we have time later, Carl, we can check it out. Hey, Glenn, how are you?
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
So what you got
Yeah.
going on?
Well, good. It's good, thanks. I mean, Raoul sorted me out really well earlier today, so big thanks to him. And just purely by coincidence, you were releasing the new features to do with screen variables, which I think is probably the interesting thing to talk about with everybody. But it just did the job. I think I've got to actually go through and set them all up for all the different fields. But the issue I was having, just to explain that a bit more, was that I'm loading a user record in from Zano and setting the initial values in fields in a form to those values. But if you don't edit them at all, then you go to then save the form, save that user back, it just ignores those values that are in the field. So it looks like the value is in the field, but it's not there really. So what we set up today was screen variables for just two of the fields to test out the theory, and it worked really well. So yeah, good approach.
Great. Is there any other problems you were having after that point, or?
I don't think so, because I was waiting for that feature to get fully released before I dived in and did any more with it, which I'm going to be doing soon. But in the meantime, I've just been doing the screens and getting all the fields set up ready to go. What I don't know yet is whether I'm going to come across an issue with the fact that I'm using radio buttons and number fields and things like that. So I guess I'll just have to dive in and see what happens. But I'd imagine it will work the same way as just a normal text input field, right?
Yeah, I mean, it should all work wired up correctly. Obviously, there's wrong ways you could do it. So, but if you ever have problems, you can always reach out in the community or on intercom. We'll help you out. So,
That's great. Thanks. Yeah, it was just one of those ones that really tripped me up because what you see on the screen is you expect that data to be there, and I just couldn't figure it out. But is there, just out of curiosity, is there a plan to do that differently moving forwards, or will you rely on the screen variables to do the job?
I think screen variables are probably the most flexible way to go about it, rather than trying to build components, that like do a specific job or whatever. So yeah, I think screen variables, and hopefully the plan is that they'll be out today. So everybody watching, you guys get the first word on that. That's our fingers are crossed. So that's what we're hoping for.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to show anything, but if it's not, I don't want to show things that aren't fully properly released yet or anything like that. So.
Sure. Well, I mean, typically right during this time, we try to address any like blockers that people have. So, I mean, if Rahul has helped you out and got you unblocked from where you were, you might just have to be a little patient, on the screen variables to move forward. But like I said, hopefully today you'll be ready to go. So.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Well, any other questions while you're up here?
No, I mean, I'm really just getting into Draftbit properly for the first time. I've had an account for a long time and not properly used it. And being that I'm using Zano a lot more these days and so on, I just wanted to sort of get into building an app. And we had a really urgent need to get something built quickly. So this is just perfect. We're just knocking this out as quickly as we can. And really, it's just overcoming hurdles like that. But everything so far is making a lot of sense. Yeah,
Great.
Really enjoying it.
What's your background? Are you coming from React Native, or are you new to?
No, so originally I was a Ruby and Rails kind of guy back in the day, and then I moved away from coding into e-commerce and digital marketing, and then when no code came around, that just seemed like the perfect fit. So I run a small no code agency in the UK. And we just do personal projects like the one I'm working on at the moment as well, just to learn stuff and flex our muscles a bit, and just get stuff out there that can do some good, So.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. I heard about your project. Sounds like a great cause, and looking forward to seeing you get that finished and share it with everybody in the community when you get done, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I will. I'm happy to talk about any aspects of it in due course. It's just great to see how far Draftbit's come as well, because I saw it in the earlier days, and it's just a beast compared to what it used to be. So yeah, really enjoying it.
Definitely, and appreciate hearing that. Thank you. We got guys working very hard all the time trying to make it better and fix the bugs and all that. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks. We'll move on from now. Reach out if you have any questions.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Okay. All right, what do we got? Oops, I forgot to mark that. Start answering. Done. Okay. Carl, anything else? Carl, Julian, I guess we could bring up Amit. Okay, Rahul, is it Amit or Amit?
I think it's Amit.
Okay.
But
Amit?
it depends on how you want to pronounce it. So
well, I mean, how he pronounces it is how I want to pronounce it. So that's why I was asking. I'll ask him. We'll bring him up. All right.
Yeah, let's bring him up and get the answer.
Yeah. You should receive an invite. Yep, he's got it. Okay.
So just for everybody to know, Amit is our newest addition to the Draftbit team. He's a fellow success engineer, and you would be hearing a lot more from him in the coming days. So make sure if you have any questions, he would love to answer those for you.
Yep. And Carl has already had a good experience, I think. He answered. He gave a really great answer to Carl's question about the calendar, implementing calendar. So that was great. Very good job. Okay, so how do you like to pronounce your name? Just so I have it correct, is it Amit or Amit? Where's the?
It's just Amit.
Amit.
It's a soft A. Yeah, and no H sound after that.
Okay.
Amit.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. How are you liking Draftbit so far? I mean, you've only been here a few days, but we're happy to have you. So.
Yeah, I've been working with that for a couple of weeks before joining. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm a fan of Draftbit. I've been enjoying it so far. Yeah.
That's great. Cool, man. Well, happy to have you here. All right. So Carl said, I have a really complicated one related to low code calendar. How do I get workout IDs to the day field so that you can click the navigate to the single workout screen? Did you see my answer to your follow-up question, Carl, in the community about you were referencing the day, but you were actually referencing the day that the calendar returns to you. Like, so it's basically whatever day you clicked on, that's what day is. Yeah, the problem question is the day data doesn't have the workout ID. I think that's okay. Well, it would be your workouts. Yeah. So you're passing in, Amit, maybe you want to take over, but he's passing in his workouts, right?
Yeah.
Into his
he's
component.
Passing in his workout data. So that
Right.
has the IDs in it.
Right.
And along with the IDs, you also have the easy dates. Right. So that's what you want to map that to, the calendar dates to the easy dates to find out the ID.
Right, right. So that's, Carl, you have your workouts. So instead of, I mean, maybe I wasn't clear in my pseudocode. Sorry, I didn't have a bunch of time to explain. But basically, you want to check, you know, where you want to find the workout where the date is the same as the date that you clicked on, right? And then that should be able to tell you which workout ID. Does that make sense? Rahul, Amit, feel free to.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I think Amit is following up with this question, so I think he would have more information about it. So go ahead, Amit, and go ahead, Carl. Just make sure that you kind of find out what you really need to. So
he says it makes sense on paper. Actually, getting the workout data from marked dates today is another thing. Don't even worry about marked dates because you're passing in your workouts as your like workout fetch data, right? Go ahead, Amit. I'm sorry. You tell them.
All right. So when you click on the day, what you're getting is the entire day object. So that's going to have your day string as well. Your day string can be compared with your workout data string. The proofs, you have the proof ID in it, the workout data. So you'll have to create a function where you can actually check if this day is present inside your workout data. So you'll have to go over each of your proofs and you can check, you can compare the dates. And when you find a matching date, at that time, you'll be able to actually, go to use that proof ID to navigate.
Carl, does that make sense, Carl? I mean, I guess we could bring him up. Okay, that makes sense, he says. And creating the function whatever to map the data to the workout data seems too complicated. Well, I mean, we can't do all the work for you, Carl. You're going to have to get in there and like, you know. I mean, I know you push through. You do a lot. I know you do. But, you know, we can't always write it for you. That's why I gave you pseudocode. If you look at what I wrote, it should make sense. You know, you just need to translate that into a real function. George, hey George, thanks for joining. Okay, let's see if we got. We don't have any other questions. You guys are quiet out there. Julian, you here for just to say hi and see our wonderful faces, or what?
Well, guys, you have three of us now to answer your questions, so you know,
I know, man.
It's always a good opportunity. Otherwise,
got the full force of like Draftbit power here. Even George is with us. So, did we already congratulate Rahul's new haircut? Not publicly. So, congratulations, Rahul, on your dapper haircut. You look very nice.
Thanks, guys. I think this is becoming a You guys are pulling my leg on it, but yeah, I'm happy to.
All right. Well, Carl says, Rahul, have you heard anything about the bug updated? The bug updating navigation properties.
We are still working on it, Carl. Like I have kind of made the report, but like when I hear something back, I will get back to you as soon as it is resolved. But I do know that it's kind of irritating as well. I faced the same thing today, so uh, we're surely working on it.
All right. So Glenn's asking about PWA. There's no way to add a custom domain. I honestly, I'm not sure. I think originally you could, but that's a feature that we're in the process of deprecating. So I'm not sure like who has access to that, or maybe I don't know, George, if you're there, you want to chime in?
I think that was a pro code feature.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm just verifying that, Glenn. Just give me a moment. Yes, I think
So
George.
yeah, Glenn
Yep.
is asking, or George is asking if Glenn, if he's planning on hosting the PWA himself. If so, you can do a domain redirect on your side, which is true. Yep. Okay. Yeah, probably not the ideal solution, but I'll work around anyway.
One of the things you can also do, Glenn, is once you export the code out of Draftbit, you can publish a PWA with some commands, and then you can host that code wherever you would like. So you can put it on any server and like get a domain name, and then you can point that domain to that server. Then you should be able to do that as well.
Good
But
point.
as Dave said, like that's a feature that you still have, so we will support you. But like that's a feature that we are kind of taking away for our new users, just so that we can run faster in Draftbit and give you guys new components that you can use in your applications. We are
Yep.
very excited to do so.
Yeah, you're losing one thing, but the trade-off is much greater. I mean, it's going to enable us to do a lot more with Draftbit, add new components, and just basically, better support you guys. So that's the objective. Glenn's asking, does anyone have a recommendation of hosting environment for this? I think Netlify, you can use them, and I don't know, maybe Vercel or something. I don't know, but any static site hosting, right, should work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Heroku, yeah. All right. Cool. All right, I don't see any other questions. Replit, yep. Oh. I've never used Replit. I guess it's good if you guys like it. All right, any more questions? I guess Julian ducked out. It's basically just Draftbit people here now. Carl is Draftbit family, so
Definitely.
yeah. Glenn saying thank you for sure. Happy to help. Well, okay. Carl, racking my brain. Wish I had some brain busters for. No, please, no more brain busters. Yeah, I mean, well, the more complicated your app, the more complicated roadblocks you're going to run into. So it makes sense, that you need help. We don't mind. Well, I guess I don't know if you want to look in community, Rahul. I don't think there's much in there right now, honestly, but we could take a look. Or
Yeah, sure. If you like, we can have a look because I think you got it covered pretty much, Dave. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
But
All right, Glenn's taking off too. It is going to be a short session today anyway, because I've got some stuff I'm trying to wrap up. So maybe we'll spend like 9 or 10 minutes in community. Do you want to pull up your screen, Rahul, or you want me to do it? Or?
Whatever you like, I can do my screen as well. No
Yeah, do it.
issues. Let me pull that up.
Rahul Carl is saying he's gonna launch his app to test flight today, republish the test flight. That's awesome. It's looking good.
So I hope you guys can see my screen now, and we are in the Ask
Maybe
for Help
zoom
section.
just a tad.
Okay, there we go. I hope that's better. So yeah, so everybody, we are in Ask for Help section. This is our community where our users post questions and community members and members of the Draftbit team try to answer those for you. So I can go from this refresh interval. I think this has already been answered.
Yeah, there was a bug.
Mhm.
There was a bug introduced with a feature that we're working on. So Donald, thank you, Donald, for jumping in and fixing that. So it should be good to go. Just waiting to hear back from them.
Yep, I think Coco already responded that it's working now. So
awesome. Great.
It's awesome. I think this was a feature that a lot of users were kind of requesting from a while now. So we are really happy to introduce that to everyone.
Yep, it kind of got disclosed by Caleb when he found it and posted a question. So
we have another question here about any advice, suggestions on implementing progressive onboarding screens. I believe you have answered this as well, Dave.
Yes. Carl actually answered it. So props to Carl.
Thanks, Carl. I appreciate your help as always. So I will move away from this one as well. Okay, this one has been resolved too. So it was basically what was happening was one of the fields was there was an additional field that the user was trying to put in, and the backend wasn't expecting it, so they were getting an error from the backend, and that was resolved. So
awesome.
I would put in a green check mark. That looks
Thank
good.
You, Rahul, for taking care of
that. Yeah, man. This I think was a very nice question. Like as in like this is very encouraging to read on the community and kind of pushes other community members to read this because this is a person who has been a React developer for a while and he jumped into React Native. That's what we use in Draftbit, and they were getting confused with what React Native has to offer and what's the differences between these two. And many of our community members kind of answered this question that when you're using Draftbit, you really don't need to know how to code. I mean, it's always a benefit that you can code, but like I was really happy to read the responses from all the community members and how they're reaching out to each other and helping them out. So thanks for posting this question, Philip.
Yeah, it was great to read. Good, moral boost or good boost to the morale. And always nice to see people contributing, helping other users out, and all that stuff. And glad to see people are happy with Draftbit.
Yep. So I think so the sending form data with API request.
Did y'all talk to him on the back end?
I haven't actually spoken to him yet, but I think we haven't really got a response back from him, so I'm not really sure if this helped him out or not. But if you
Okay.
are listening to this, Marco, just reach out to us if you're still having any problems. We would love to help.
Just because I know Amit was helping somebody with a form data. I just wasn't sure if that was the same
Yeah.
question. Somebody was trying to submit form. It looked like an image, though.
Oh, actually, I was working on an app
Uh,
where I was trying to submit form data, multi-part form data to backend list, to the files browser, and
God.
they actually require that. Then I just, with the help of Rahul, I've just managed to do it with the byte side of thing.
Okay. Cool.
And yes, that's something that we would also post in the community in the tutorial section. So that's something that we discovered, and I'm sure that this will help someone on the community who are using backend list as their backend. So there's one more thing on your plate now, Amit, is posting that. uh, yeah. So I think I would like to talk a little bit about uh, this transform with property on the list. What a lot of our users are trying to do is just basically I want to tell everyone that when you use a transform with function on the list component like this, so this function will be triggered for each and every list component.
Mm,
Sorry, a list item. Just so that everybody knows that because it's not quite obvious and it's not right out there, but this is a function. When you use something here, it would be checked for each and every item on the list. So whenever you're trying to use this feature, just keep that in the back of your mind and kind of design your function in a way that it doesn't really cause any trouble in your app when you are trying to do this. Because this is a very handy feature that we have. So, and it would work in a lot of, just trying to see, like, it has a lot of use cases as well. So just wanted to point that out because I'm not sure if it's entirely clear to everyone
I
that how.
did not know that. So thank you for. I had no idea that that would apply to each item in the list. So that's interesting.
Uh, yeah, I figured it out the hard way too. So, I just wanted to mention it out for everybody. So I think
Mm.
there would be a better way of setting your global variable there, Caleb. Um,
We probably need to
like,
add some wording around that too, like something so people know, because you could, like you said, you could cause some problems depending on what you're trying to do in that transform. If you're looping, and if you're doing it to like 100 or hundreds of records or whatever, I mean, you could have some serious problems.
exactly. So that's basically what I wanted to convey here. Hopefully, it helps some of our users out. Otherwise, we are always here. Um, so I think what we should do now, because I think Dave, you're also running out of time because we need to get screen variables out there for everyone.
Yep.
Uh, so unless you guys have more questions, we can end it here and try to get back to our work and help other people in the community as well.
All right. Well, Carl's the only one here. So, Carl, if you have something short and sweet, now's your chance. Otherwise, we got to go. Going once, going twice. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. It was good to see you. Thanks, Rahul, Amit. And anytime you want to join us again, Amit, we're happy to have you. Okay, Carl, undefined is not an object for workouts for each. I'd have to look at that code. I mean, something is not defined. Like you're trying to do for each on something that's not defined, or something in your function in the for each is trying to access something that is not defined.
I think that's just because of the custom code, and the initial state is going to be undefined before the fetch call. So I
True.
think that's what's causing it.
All right. Yeah, you might have to pick it back up in community, Carl. Sorry, bud. All right, cool. All right, guys. Good to see you. Take care. Thank you. See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.